Hey, welcome to Screenplay Junkie. My name's Drew Hellmich, and I love screenwriting and everything there is about movies. But before anything makes it to the screen, it always begins with text on paper. So if you're a fellow addict of film and storytelling, join my brothers, Matt and Bryan, and I as we take a look at various types of screenplays, short stories, and other source material that were crucial to the creation of the stories we all love. There will be spoilers, though, so I do recommend being familiar with the title that's being discussed. Sound good? All right, then let's get started. Welcome back, fellow story addicts, to Screenplay Junkie, episode number 61. Drew, Matt, and Bryan here, and today we have the Australian drama horror film, The Babadook.
Babadook, dook, dook, dook.
Have you guys seen this movie before?
I have.
Yes.
Before we decided to do the episode, yes, I have.
What about you?
I remember watching it in college, I think, like one time.
In Colegio? Okay.
Because
okay.
they had it on Netflix, and that's where I went first to watch, but it's not on there anymore. I couldn't find it. So that time has passed, but that's where I first saw it. I enjoyed it.
So you enjoyed it your first watch?
Yeah. And
I was kind of iffy on it, actually, but the second watch I liked it way more, I think. What about you, Matt?
In your first one?
I definitely liked it more this time around, and I was like curious too because it's an Australian movie. I was
Yeah.
like, what other Australian-made movies are even out there? And I like looked up on, I just googled like what are the best Australian movies, and this was listed as number one on this like theguardian.com. It seemed like a really pretty popular page. And like the number two movie though that's an Australian made on that list was Mad Max Fury Road from like 2015.
Okay.
Yeah,
I guess
Kangaroo Jack. That's probably like 2008.
That was 2003.
Yeah.
I mean, I just watched it. That's the only reason I know that.
Not in...
that wasn't made by Australian people.
Filmed
Australian.
Australian produced films.
Kangaroo joke.
Crazy that Christopher Walken is in that movie. I never would I forgot all about that.
I can't believe Kangaroo Jack made it into this episode. That's what I'm worried.
Australia, man.
I'm sorry for this.
It's related to Australia.
Okay.
And like speaking of Australia, like was there any Australian lingo that like while reading the script or watching the movie it tripped you up at all? Because the only one that got me was a Duna. Like, do you guys know what a Duna is?
That just went over my head when reading, but I had no idea.
I mean, I didn't look it up. I didn't know what it was, but just from reading it, I was like, okay, maybe that's like a blanket.
Yeah. It is a blanket, but like in the script, it would be like, oh, they hide under the Duna.
Right.
I'm like, what the hell? What is this Duna?
Yeah.
Is this like a kitchen item? Is this like a, I don't know, a blanket?
I was like, is it like a like a closet or like a dresser, and they're like hiding in it? I was really confused. But
Yeah.
A Duna's a blanket.
Well, let's just jump right into this one. Let's talk about the IMDb info.
Sure. So this movie came out in the United States on November 28th, 2014. By the people on IMDb, it's got a 6.8 out of 10. But by the critics, it has an 86 out of 100.
That's pretty good.
I think so. That's Metascore, right?
Yes.
I think Rotten Tomatoes, it's a 98%.
Yeah. I mean, we should just start listing both. Honestly, I should just have two sources when I do this.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see.
To just compare. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But it's super high rated by critics. So and it's just interesting how normal people though give it a 6.8. So there's a lot of 1-star reviews kind of I think dragging this movie down because I did look at the user reviews and they're plentiful, the 1 stars.
So what do you guys think? So the 6.8 IMDb user or the 86 Metascore?
What reflects it better?
Yeah, which one do you think you gravitate towards?
The 86, the meta.
When like looking at a film and like thinking if I want to watch it or not, are you asking? Or?
Yeah,
just for this, like, is this an 86 out of 100 to you or a 68 out of 100?
Or 98?
I'd say an 86, yeah.
So you guys all go towards the Metascore?
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
I think that's what I would go towards as well.
All right, so starring in this movie was Essie Davis as the mom, Amelia. Noah Wiseman, he was the kid. And then Haley McElhenney is Claire, the sister, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Short cast, kept it. That's all you
Babadook.
need.
Whose credit is the Babadook, I wonder?
Oh, I don't know.
No one. What the hell?
It's got to be somebody.
Someone has to have done it. Yeah, no one's credited. That's
okay.
Weird. That's weird. All right, so they made the movie for $2 million. Which is insane, right?
I dig it.
Worldwide, it made just over $10 million.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Very well done.
I would have expected more, to be honest with you, but that's still a lot of money.
Oh, you were expecting they made more?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'm just shocked that by the $2 million budget. I mean, it's surprising because there was CGI involved.
Yeah. There was some little crazy stuff going on.
It's a 90-minute movie. It's shocking that they made it for $2 million.
Yeah.
Low characters, minimal location. Those are like factors I can really think
filming
of.
in Australia. You were like suggesting maybe it's cheaper because if you were trying to film in like LA, maybe there's like more taxes or just more
location based.
Yeah, I don't know like how it is in Australia, but I've heard stories, whether it's on podcasts. I mean, mainly on podcasts, I should say. But when people are filming in LA, people purposely try to get money out of it. Whereas like if you're filming in some random place in South Carolina or maybe in this instance Australia, people are like, "Oh, awesome! You want to use my place for a movie? Yeah,
Please.
hell yeah, absolutely." Yeah. I'll do it for free, whatever.
I could see
because people get excited that you're making a movie. Where it's so common in LA, people want to get paid for it.
Right. Before we do trivia, I just want to mention the tagline for this movie is "You can't get rid of the Babadook."
Dun, dun, dun.
Wow, terrifying. All right, Brian, go ahead.
Okay, trivia. The Babadook here. So Jennifer Kent, the director and writer, her first feature film. Her first debut, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
I saw that, and I looked it up too. She's only done one other movie. It came out like in 2018. It's called The Nightingale.
Okay.
But listen, it sounds kind of cool. Set in 1825, a young Irish convict woman chases a British officer through the rugged wilderness, hell-bent on revenge.
So this is not horror? Sounds like
it's an
thriller?
adventure drama thriller.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's got a 7.3 out of 10 and a 77 Metascore, so it got good reviews again. It's just interesting that she's only made two movies.
Yeah.
But so the Babadook apparently actually came from inspiration of someone that she knew, that her mother, the son, was traumatized by this monster figure in his own brain and caused like severe trauma to his mother himself.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
That was like, so he was scared of something, and then like the mom was like, "Oh, like my son's scared of this. I don't know why.
Yeah,
like I'm kind of tweaking. I'm getting scared."
So in real life, there was a kid that like was a burden, and that kind of developed into this story. Yeah. Interesting.
And that's when in 2005, that was her first short film called Monster, and that's kind of what the idea started in. And she knew that she couldn't like leave it on the back burner. So then 2014, the Babadook came out.
Made it into a feature version.
Correct.
Very cool.
So of course, there's the bearing question: could there be a sequel? And Jennifer Kent vows from now on until ever there will never be a sequel. Like that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you would.
You don't need one.
Where do you
That's
go?
That's it. It's done.
I would never want to even see a sequel of this. I like it just as a singular title.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
it totally. I mean, there are good sequels out there, but usually the second, third ones kind of get all.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about what happens in this movie in like the script, like as we go on through this episode here. But in terms of like, I just don't know what the hell you would make a sequel about.
Yeah,
because the way the movie ends is it's like it's a satisfying ending in terms of like it's closure, like it's over.
Yeah, right.
So Noah Wiseman, Samuel, he's like the super young kid in the movie. So throughout production, he was never told what the really story was about, so you wouldn't just destroy like this kid's like real life nightmares probably.
Okay.
So they kept like parts of the story of him, and like when the mother's yelling at him, it's not actually him. It's just like a grown character on his knees, I guess.
Really?
What? So they would never. She wasn't scolding him. She was never being like, don't even, like like being mean to him or anything. So
it was just another person.
Yeah, and I guess to strike fear in his own face, quote, "I'm going to take your Legos and throw them into the river." That's how they would get him all scared looking.
Dude, he cares about those Legos, dude.
That's what they would say.
I mean, I cared about my Legos too, but no lie, that kid was annoying as hell.
No, seriously, man. He did a lot of whining and crying. Mm-hmm. William Friedkin, director of The Exorcist, said this film, "I've never seen a more terrifying film than The Babadook."
Really?
Quote, yes. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd say that's a pretty good, considering how like The Exorcist is supposed to be like the most darkest film of time.
Why do you think he thinks that? Because my only guess is that like the terrifying part of this movie isn't the Babadook. It's just the fact that like this mother resents her kid. Like it's kind of a terrifying, like a real thing that maybe happens in real life, but
yes,
it's just that's like a horrifying situation to be in.
Yeah, totally.
So I guess in Hebrew, Babadook means he is coming for sure.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Has a little relation to the film then?
No
something
idea.
I saw was like Baba is something like a little kid says for like dad.
Okay.
So the Babadook.
Or he wants his Baba.
Yeah, true. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Something like that.
So more about the Babadook and kind of like the inspiration of like what it looks like and kind of the costume design of it. It's by the name of Lon Chaney. Yeah. Way back when, the silent film actor is remembered for bringing some of the most terrifying early film monsters to life.
Okay.
He portrayed the original Phantom of the Opera, which kind of gets like the trench coat kind of top hat vibe of the Babadook.
All right.
Trench coat, yeah.
Trench coat.
The top hat, like it's It's hard to make a top hat scary because I feel like when I think top hats, I think like Goofy or like Abraham
Magician.
Lincoln. Yeah, magician. It's not something that like I associate with being scary.
Yeah.
I think more like Victorian era England,
Yeah, like Downtown Abbey.
Okay.
Downton Abbey.
Yeah, okay. I don't even know what it is. I just like
No, I don't know. I don't think that's.
I just threw that reference out there blind. Like I really don't even know what that show is.
Victorian age when they wore a bunch of black. So like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
That's like a Victorian era.
That's
story.
a reference. I can roll with that
Frankenstein.
reference. Yeah, Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Very nice. All right, and
top hats.
so like some sound bites throughout this movie. The scream repeatedly heard towards the end is supposedly a character from Mortal Kombat 3, Motaro.
What?
Very cool.
That's like the sound bite.
Who's that? I don't know.
I don't know who he
I
is.
just said very
but
cool.
I saw Mortal Kombat 3 and I was like,
Mortal Kombat.
video games. Like,
That's so. What? It's so random. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
All right, maybe just for some reason the director likes Mortal Kombat. That's the only thing I can think of.
That was like the best sound I guess they can get. I don't know.
Okay.
Very cool.
Who knew Mortal Kombat had something to do with the Babadook? They should make the Babadook a character in Mortal Kombat.
Ooh,
How about that?
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say about that.
It would probably win
It'd be
with those big ass, fingers.
claws and shit.
Yeah.
He's Edward Scissorhands, you know.
He
Trim a lot
kind
of
of
bushes.
does look like Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
Scissorhands.
Yeah.
And like Freddy Krueger in a way with the
Freddy
claw,
Krueger,
with
yeah,
his claw
totally.
hands. But we'll talk about the Babadook.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into what he looks like.
Right.
Okay, so before we get into segment 2 and keep talking about the Babadook, we quickly want to mention that Bryan over here on the show has come out with a new song that's available on Spotify. He goes
all
by
platforms.
the artist name. Oh yeah, it's on all platforms. Sorry, you can talk about that in a second. But he goes by Pheels. It's Pheels. The song is called Stranger. We're gonna go ahead and play it here for you on the podcast. So if you want to skip to segment 2, just fast forward about 3 minutes and you'll get there.
No,
Bryan, you wanna
don't
talk-
fast forward.
Yeah, but-
Why would you suggest fast forwarding?
Well,
No.
I'm just saying if they don't want to
Please
hear the song, I think you should listen to the song. Bryan, you want anything else you want to say about it?
Yeah,
Where they can find it?
It's available on all platforms: Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, you name it, Pandora.
What's your name again?
Pheels, Pheels.
So it's not pronounced P heels.
No, it's not pronounced Pheels.
Featuring who? Who
So
sings
you
the
know,
song,
play
right?
featuring Victoria Owsnett.
Awesome.
Who is she?
She is a vocalist from Newcastle, United Kingdom.
Yeah, and
Pretty sweet.
this song you're about
Online,
to hear
yeah,
too has been
collaboration.
playing on a Newcastle radio station over in the UK.
and,
The
a
BBC.
and a neighboring region radio station.
The BBC.
So it's getting the United Kingdom getting some plays.
Pretty
Plug.
tight.
That's the plug. All right, enjoy the song.
I'm feeling so far from home. I'm a stranger out here on my own, sensing danger. Feeling so cold. I'm a stranger. I'm a stranger. Got me feeling like everyone I know isn't real. I forgot how to feel. I mean it when I ask, is this a dream? That's how it seems. I wanna scream. I wanna scream. I'm feeling so far from home. I'm a stranger out here on my own, sensing danger. Feeling so cold. I'm a stranger. I'm a stranger. On a never-ending stairway to hell, I descend, and I dwell on everything I've said in my time. Was it right? I just wanna say sorry if not. You don't know what you've got till it's gone. You don't know what you got till it's gone. I just wanna go back home. Don't belong here. Feel so alone. Danger is near. Nothing to feel. Don't belong here. Don't
All right, that was Stranger by Pheels, a.k.a. Bryan Hellmich here, featuring Victoria Owsnett. Pretty tight.
Love it.
Let's get back into Jennifer Kent's The Babadook. Script info, we have the draft date was September of 2011. The draft version was 6.3. I don't know what .3 means in a script version.
Sounds like
no clue.
Sounds like the software in my iPhone or something.
Right.
6.3.
Yeah. And this was 99 pages, so about an hour and a half. Let's talk about the characters first. So we have Amelia. She is the widowed mother of Samuel. Her husband died in a car crash, driving her to the hospital when she was giving birth to Samuel.
Horrible. Just awful.
Absolutely horrible. The death of her husband is also on the same day of her son's birth, so I can only imagine how weird that could get.
Yeah, birthdays, right? Every birthday you're just reminded of that.
Yeah, right. Jesus. So she struggled to get over her husband's death, and due to that, she has a deep resentment for her Samuel, which, when we were reading the screenplay, we all agreed that it was way more evident that she is distant from her son right off the bat, compared to the movie.
I remember being 10 pages in, and there's a scene where she drops. So he sleeps in her bed because he has a nightmare, and she rolls away from him. Doesn't even want to cuddle with him.
Sleep on the edge of the bed. Yeah.
Doesn't want him laying on her while she sleeps. And then she drops him off at school, and then immediately is happy as hell, singing along to her music at full blast while driving down the highway.
Because she got rid of him.
Yeah, and that's not a scene in the movie. That's only in the script. You don't see that in the film. I don't remember seeing.
Yeah, I don't remember it in the movie either.
So it just makes it so obvious that she kind of doesn't like her kid at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, dude, that's ugh. And then another interesting thing about her character that was really subtly dropped is that she was a writer, I should say, a writer of articles for magazines. She did some kid stuff. These are literally her lines of the dialogue, so I don't know what that means exactly, some kid stuff. And she wrote a novel, which this kind of creative writing background leads to something else that may connect
Later on.
that I missed. We had to look. We looked it up. Did some research.
Foreshadow.
Stick around for it.
Helped us connect some dots here. So Samuel, he is Amelia's 6-year-old son.
Annoying.
He's terribly annoying.
And he's going through a stage of fearing monsters that live under his bed and closet.
I mean, we all did this, right? You guys definitely had fears and darkness.
Every kid has this fear. That's normal.
Maybe some people still do.
You know, you don't want to sleep with your leg hanging off the edge of the bed.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Okay, either way, having a fear of monsters is normal. Making weapons and whatever this kid was doing is not normal. This kid's loud. He's troublesome. He is misunderstood, obviously, because the relationship with his mom is really messed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough being 6 years old when your mom secretly kind of wants to kill you.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
But he's making pretty good contraptions. So maybe years down the road, he could be
he is inventive. Yeah, I'll give him that.
Yeah, dude. He makes a cricket ball catapult, some nail guns, and he's also very interested in magic. He's a magician.
Dude, he does some pretty good magic.
It's like some Home Alone type stuff this kid's on, honestly.
Yeah.
And then we have the Babadook. We'll consider it a character for now because it's a perceived monster that is summoned from this book called Mr. Babadook. And we kind of already talked about what he wears, but let's just go over that again really quick.
Yeah, it's the top hat, the trench coat. He's got these long, sharp fingers, kind of like Freddy Krueger-like or Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
Drew, what you have here that he reminded you of the Victorian age, right? We kind of talked about that already.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier.
The top
That's
hat,
all good.
Absolutely. Did you guys think he was scary?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was scary. I mean, I like how they don't really show him that much. It's really quick things. He's in the background most of the time, which is cool.
Yeah.
So
I bet if you looked up the screen time he gets in the entire film, it's probably under 2 or 3 minutes out of it.
Probably my favorite visual of him is when the mom thinks she sees him in the grandma's house, the next door neighbor.
I agree. That's my favorite one too.
The best face visual that you get of him.
Yeah,
right.
Face reveal.
That was my favorite one too. Let's talk about that book, Mr. Babadook, okay? Because it's a creepy pop-up children's book made by an unknown author. At least that's what you're supposed to think. And it's found in Samuel's bookshelf.
Yeah, it just appears there.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like.
He gets to pick out a book that he wants to read. It's got maybe a really red, attractive cover to it. So they pick it out. Amelia starts reading to him, but it scares the hell out of him. And eventually she tears up the book and throws it away.
It is terrifying.
To an
if you
extent.
found that shit and saw those gruesome images and what the message in that book, you'd be yeah, no, oh my gosh, how did my kid just
Don't read this to a child.
Where did this come from?
That's what was my main question. But then we found a solution later on. But
foreshadow.
So the book, so Amelia tears up the book, and then I think it's the next morning. She hears like 3 knocks on the door. She looks out the door, and the book is back on the doorstep, and the pages that she ripped up are all taped or glued back together. And there's additions to the story with more violent and graphic images, where it's like she's strangling the dog, strangling the kid, and then
killing herself.
and then
More
killing
like-
herself.
More
right?
like directly involved to like her family.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Because at
And-
first it was just like vague. This is a story, and then now it's just like
These are the keys.
I was telling you the story of what's going to happen to you, basically.
Yeah,
At this
right.
point, too, the book clearly states that the more you like deny me, the more you keep
the
telling yourself
stronger it
that I'm not real, the stronger I get.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
I like that a lot too. You know, you think you not believe something, you deny it, and then try to push it out of you. But
and that kind of feels like a real thing for like a supernatural force. Like the more you deny it, the more power you're kind of giving
stronger
it.
it
Maybe,
gets.
Yeah.
So that kind of fuels to the fire that maybe this thing is real.
Yeah, dude. I mean, especially when she burns it, because then she goes and burns it, and then it continually comes back. I mean, the book is completely out of the picture now. But then when we did some research on the internet, because we were that was like our main question leaving the script and the movie was, well, where did this book come from?
yeah,
And I
we
think
got our
Matt,
thinking caps on.
yeah, I think Matt,
Sherlock
you
Holmes
did a
it.
little research, and there was some explanations that actually make a lot of sense. That Amelia is actually the author of the book. She made it herself.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
She's
Yes.
schizophrenic, like experiencing psychosis. There's a whole like mental health like deep dive you can go into if you want
Yeah.
to on this.
Yeah. Which, I mean, thinking about it now, remember there's the parts where she's always sleeping in, like she's waking up at like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. or whatever. Samuel has to wake her up.
Okay.
That makes sense as far as to just, I'm talking about just the book itself, of especially the part where she rips it up, puts it back together, because maybe this secondary personality that she has took over, so that she's blacked out. And then she stays up late fixing the book in this particular case, and then she sleeps in super late.
Right.
But she doesn't remember doing
Which
it.
totally makes
Like,
sense. Yeah.
a comparison I can give you for a movie is like Fight Club, where like
Yeah.
Edward Norton's character imagines Brad Pitt the entire time.
Tyler Durden.
She's imagining the Babadook while she's doing all the things that is doing.
Yeah, yeah,
If that makes sense.
yeah.
Totally.
And then so after this whole book comes into play, and as the movie evolves, Amelia becomes more and more unhinged, mean, and violent towards her son. So we're going to rattle off some examples of some things that she does that illuminate her secondary personality, or just her mind, her mental health state of how she's feeling about her husband and her son. So there's multiple instances where she's watching other couples from her car jealously while they kiss. Then there's also that part where she's watching the movie, like a Hollywood movie of, a man and a woman acting
Yeah,
romantically.
she misses her husband.
Absolutely, yeah. And then there's the part where she finds the shards of glass in her soup. Imagine that. You're taking a spoonful of soup, throw it in your mouth, and you cut your mouth open on glass.
That's like worst case scenario. Soup case scenario.
I'm
Like,
blaming
that is
Campbell's,
awful.
man, or something. I'm going to wherever I bought that can of soup from.
I'm
That-
like suing. I'm suing. I'm taking those people to court.
But the question is, because when in the movie when that happens, she questions if Samuel did it to her, and he says, no, the Babadook did it. So do you think she meant to give that to Samuel?
Yeah, I think she subconsciously put the glass in there for her kid.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and she just didn't realize it.
That kind of reminds me of... go ahead.
or there is the walking Babadook, and he's putting glass in
Yeah,
chicken noodle soup
it could
bowls.
be real. That is very true.
The part of the parent putting stuff in someone's food reminds me of The Sixth Sense, where the mom poisons the daughter with the food, right?
Right.
She's keeping her sick, and then
Right.
she dies eventually. That's what that reminded me of. Amelia also sees cockroaches in her car and in a hole in a wall in her house, but something that shows you that she's imagining all of this is when those child services or whoever those people were, they show up, and she's like, "Oh, I'm just cleaning up my kitchen's a mess. I'm cleaning up some cockroaches," and they come in, and then there's no hole in the wall. She's imagining it all.
And that just adds to like the whole schizophrenia argument
delusion,
that the people on Reddit that I read their thoughts. That it definitely adds to that opinion.
Right. Another thing that she does, which I think is probably the most terrifying thing about this film, is that she verbally berates Samuel and then quickly follows up by trying to be super nice to him and bribe him with desserts.
Yeah.
So just this bipolar approach to your
Yeah,
child.
because
Yeah, that's awful.
She does deep down hate him, but she resents herself for hating him. So whenever she actually explodes on him, she feels bad, has to make it up.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And there's another part where she's watching TV and he's watching TV with her, and she glances over at him and she sees him dead with his throat slit with stab wounds.
I feel like this is when she's really slipping in the
Oh, yeah,
story. Like,
totally.
in the screenplay movie, at this point, it's really obvious that her like grip on sanity is
Yeah.
dwindling.
And so all of these things besides the berating, these are all things that she's imagining, the cockroaches, the seeing him dead. But then she strangles their dog for no reason.
Yeah, this part was just like, why exactly? I guess from it barking, I don't know why. It's just an annoyance, but
I don't know, man.
why'd he kill a dog? You can't be killing dogs.
Yeah, I do wish the dog survived as well. I'm anti. Anytime a movie kills a dog, it upsets me.
Pro
Absolutely.
animal life, dude. Yeah. We can watch humans get killed all the time, but once you kill a dog, no.
Yeah, you crossed the line. You crossed the line.
And then after she unfortunately strangles the dog, she rips a molar out of her mouth that was bothering her throughout the movie.
Right. It was giving her migraines, yeah, and she just rips it out.
And then she breaks into Samuel's room by kicking the door down.
This was pretty athletic. This was her, like, she kind of looked like she had, like, kind of super jump and strength, though.
Yes.
In the film, it looks like she's possessed as she kicks this door down.
Right.
Yeah.
Which adds to, like, the
Babadook
theory
being real.
that the Babadook is real. Exactly.
And then eventually, when they go into the basement, she strangles him, but she lets go because she realizes what she's doing is totally wrong.
Yeah, somehow, her, like, the love for her son, like, wins over the hatred.
And those are the main ones we thought of. I'm sure there's other ones out there that exist, but like we already said earlier, I mean, I think we could all agree, maybe, that this kind of relationship that Amelia has with her son and how she treats him is definitely way more scarier than any kind of fictional monster.
Okay.
I mean, because a mother is supposed to be somebody who loves their kid and is supposed to be taking care of them and not blaming or hating them for any reason or to the extreme of trying to hurt or kill them. Mm-hmm. It's pretty disturbing.
It's a crazy dynamic. The fact that you have a child, but every single time you look at them, you're reminded of the death of your loved one or whatever it might be.
Totally.
It's just a horrible thing.
Yeah. And then the ending, because there's a particular like part about it that was really confusing, especially to me, with the whole the bowl of worms, right?
Right.
Feeding the Babadook. Is it living in their basement from now on?
Because like the whole, so she wins against the Babadook, like she expels it from her body. That's kind of what you see in the film, and then she screams at it from a bedroom, like, "This is my house. Like, you're not welcome here."
Trespassing, yeah.
She believes it's real, and like to me, that's what I thought when I watched and read it. That she believes it's real. She's like disarming it because the whole reason it had any power over her was because she kept denying it.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought. Oh, it wins, and then like the ending is like you were saying, it's in the basement, right?
Yeah.
And then this bowl of worms is supposed to be food for the Babadook. Is that what you guys thought?
I guess, yeah.
I don't really know. The ending was kind of weird to me because I never thought the Babadook was real. I thought it was just some sort of projection of
Schizophrenia, paranoia, delusions.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the ending, that's why I was thrown off, because the whole bull worms thing, and then, but maybe she was imagining it, especially when the bull worms like gets sucked into the darkness, right? Yeah, that part just got a little weird to me.
It's odd, yeah. It was a little strange. The bowl of worms thing I want to talk about a little more, but first I want to just like fill everyone in on like my little Reddit research, little deep dive I did here, because I was curious, and we said this earlier. Like, we were wondering when the film ended, like, was the Babadook real? Like, Drew, you said you thought it was a figment of her imagination. Me and Brian both thought it was a real thing. Like, we thought it was like some kind of paranormal thing.
For sure.
That's what I thought after I read and watched.
Call the Ghostbusters.
So
we got a ghost on the loose.
So like a paranormal thing as in it
Like the
possessed her?
Conjuring. Yeah, like the Conjuring. Like where it was like a demon that took over her body, and that was making her try to kill her
Like you
kid.
think, like Annabelle. Annabelle's like, what do they call it? Like the activated item or something?
that's
Like
what
the
I
book
thought.
is like the item.
Sure. I think another reason why I didn't think it was real, because I think it is plausible to think it possessed her. But one of the main reasons I don't think it's real is because Samuel never sees the Babadook.
Ah, true.
It's only from the perspective of Amelia when you actually see the creature itself.
Oh, yeah, wow.
That's a good point. But yeah, I decided to Google it, and on Reddit, the general consensus is that the Babadook is not real. The mother is the Babadook.
Okay.
It's her.
Okay.
She's the one terrorizing the kid. Everything that the book, like she made the book, it's all her. And it's because she's depressed. She's like schizophrenic. She's having psychosis, right? Because she hates her child, but she suppresses it, like because she hates herself for the fact that she doesn't like her kid, right? Because like that's such a crazy thing.
It's such a horrible.
Again,
I don't
can't
even
imagine.
want to imagine
I
it.
cannot imagine it. But this hatred for her child, it's like growing in her unconsciousness, and sometimes it just snaps out, and that's why she's like lashing out at her kid.
Yeah.
Like, there's just been abusive stuff probably going on in this household,
Right.
like, before you're even picking up where the movie starts.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. And like people have all kinds of like psychological theories that you can look into. It was all over Reddit. Not going to get too crazy into it. But again, Reddit says that she made the Babadook book herself, which is interesting because, like you said earlier, she was a writer. The story alludes to that.
Some children book work.
I like that they don't spoon feed that to you. Like
Yeah.
it's not like you find out at the end that she's the creator of the book. It's just like, no, this is kind of up in the air. You can believe it is or not, whatever.
It
but
really
there
lets
are-
you like think about like how, you get to kind of choose whatever ending
Yeah.
you want to believe.
Because there is, as far as the book is concerned, there is a little amount of evidence that does support that she made it.
Here's a quote just from the person on Reddit, like that I was reading their thoughts. Just talking about how she made the book. So it says, no kid Samuel's age is ever going to understand or be able to cope with the fact that his mom actually wants to kill him. So to protect him, she convinces him that it's actually a monster making her act that way, kind of like taking over her, right? The Babadook is. And this explains why he's able to continue to love her unconditionally and retain like some sanity throughout like his difficulty growing up. And it also explains why he seems so practiced at combating his mom at the end when she's attacking him, because like he's used to it because it happens all the time.
So him with like his slingshot, the weapons.
Yeah, exactly. Like the nail guns, like he's making that because his mom in her psychosis has been like literally attacking him, and he just thinks it's the Babadook taking over her, but it's not. It's just her because she has like severe issues.
Okay.
And at the end, this whole worm collection thing, it's something that a child might think a monster would eat, right? Worms. So it's like
Yeah,
it's
sure.
something he can buy, and that's why she makes it
Go
up.
collect them.
And it's just like she's perpetuating the fantasy of her battle with the Babadook by telling him that she needs to feed it worms, something he can understand, while she's just in the basement, like looking at her husband's stuff, accepting the fact that she kind of hates her kid because her husband's dead. But at least it's out in the open now, so now it's not taking over her like body, or it's not like, you know, leading to psychotic episodes.
Does he just never go into the basement then?
He's not
I
supposed
don't think he was
to.
ever allowed down there.
Yeah.
But he was going down there because
He was doing magic tricks down there.
Yeah, but she does say that he's not allowed to be down there.
Yeah, that's what. Okay. Yeah, that's a little weird to me for her to win over this dual personality that she has, and then she's telling him that it was actually a monster because she's embarrassed, or you know, to come clean, or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. This ridiculous, crazy reason, emotional reason. But I feel like telling your son that a monster lives in the basement, but I got to go feed it some worms, is like
Still
a
pretty
little more
traumatizing.
traumatic and terrifying to tell your son.
What about the age when he comes to be like, you know, monsters aren't real, man?
But there's a lot later into the story. That's kind of like all of my Reddit deep dive, everything I looked into, that's what I found, is that there's so much into this, and that's why I think the critics really reviewed it such like highly.
Pretty
Like,
good.
It's got a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, because I think there's all of this layered into it with mental illness and, you know, all of those things that you can explore,
It's a very layered story, absolutely.
which is cool.
Yeah.
I like ones that make you think.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of like another similar movie like this, and I can't really think of one off the top of my head.
I don't know. Yeah, it's very unique.
Yeah.
Shutter Island, maybe?
Very, very unique. Okay, sure, because
Possibly.
he's having
Psychological
psychosis,
one,
yeah, schizophrenic episodes. Sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Partially. So what about your favorite part of the movie? What do you think?
I'd probably just say when the Babadook is like, I guess, seen and like brought to the picture, brought to life in the movie, the sounds, the apparitions, the shadows, just the way they did it. Like my favorite part is when he's like crawling on the ceiling, like it's eerie as all hell. He moves like that glitchy kind of way, and it's just
Yeah.
spooky. It's just like gets you.
I thought that
Seeing
part was
something like
actually
that.
kind of corny.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I like the part in the police station where she saw him. I like the part where she saw him in the old woman's house next
Okay.
door.
Mm-hmm.
I like the part where he kind of like creeps out in the kitchen from the shadows and flashes his sharp hands.
Oh, okay.
I think I like those three parts the best. Yeah, definitely when the Babadook creature was in there. I would
Yeah.
say, yeah.
What about like a part of the movie you despise the most?
Just Samuel crying and being
Just the
loud,
kid in general.
whining.
I hate when he pushes his cousin off the treehouse.
I think the aunt and the cousin pissed me off.
Yeah, they're pretty
They're
bad.
being so mean for like no reason.
Yeah,
like
true.
I understand. Okay, this kid has problems. The mom has problems. Like, try to help them. Stop resenting them for their issues. That kind of pissed me off.
That's so true. It's like their family. Help them out. For Christ's sake.
Yeah, there's a lot of critiquing involved.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. Yeah.
Something I want to bring up too, I mentioned earlier, is that this movie has a ton of 1-star, 1 out of 10 reviews by just normal people on IMDb, the website we like to use, and just like common themes of those bad reviews were that people thought there was bad acting in the movie, which I thought the woman
good.
was fine, the kid was annoying, but everybody else was fine.
I think they both did a good job.
Yeah, honestly,
It was so they sold it.
people said they didn't care about the characters, which probably comes from maybe not liking the acting or just thinking the story was boring.
Sure.
Which again, that was a huge one. People said it was boring, not scary, and I don't think people got the ending. I think they saw the worm thing and that it was living in the basement, and people were really confused by that.
Didn't really do the extra.
People said the ending was
in-depth.
really boring. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. You can have that opinion. I really don't. I'm curious to know the percentage of people who thought it was an actual monster versus people who concluded that no, this is just her personality, her identity, and
It's
like
made up in
dual
her head.
identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to do a poll. Yeah, for people who watch the movie, is the Babadook real or is it just
Like
her?
a psychological state. Yeah.
I would love to know what people thought.
Right.
Because I would imagine most people would think the Babadook was real.
Yeah.
That's
true.
what I mean. That's what 2 out of 3 of us thought it.
Why not?
was
You know,
real.
if there's comments, likes, or something, Instagram, what do you guys think?
Huh?
Did you guys as for a viewer, as listeners, like I'm just
Yeah,
speaking
I mean,
to
we can
to
take a poll
listeners.
on the Instagram.
Yeah, we can
will.
just do a poll like on our page.
If you've seen
yeah.
the movie, is it real or not?
Is it real
What
or
do
is
you
it
think?
Totally.
imagination? Yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll go on the polls.
We'll do that.
Listeners, go on the polls.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I can see that from the perspective if you're a hardcore monster movie person and you watch this movie believing that you're going to see a monster, and you don't believe the psychological aspect of it. Yeah, I could see why you wouldn't like it because you don't really see the Babadook that much. It's an ambiguous creature. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could totally see that.
I
for
feel
sure.
like are we ready for final thoughts? I feel like that's what we're about to. We're kind of like
Definitely.
alluding to that
Yeah,
already.
yeah, I think we're good for
Cool.
it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go. I mean, I like the movie, but it's just exactly what you said, Drew. If you think this is just going to be a monster movie, then you're in for the wrong thing because this is more of a psychological thriller that you have to think about. One where you're really exploring like just a relationship that you never would even imagine existed with this mom and this kid.
For sure.
So I like it. I enjoy it. I would give it like 2.5 stars.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to give it a 3. I mean, just for the creative aspect to really hearing the theory that you dug up, Map, and just hearing like just an idea that seems like there's so many X, Y, and Z things that you had to connect. Like, well done, Jennifer, for her like debut written feature film and directing. It's great. It got me scared. Kept me on the edge of my seat. Sorry.
All good.
I did watch it in my bed, so I guess that does count.
So you were on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my
Yeah, so you didn't even misspeak. That's
Hey-o.
way to go, dude. Hey, that's how you save it right there.
Yeah, dude.
That's good radio.
Yeah.
Well done.
But yeah, I'm a fan, man. It was a good horror movie. I thought it looked good. Annoying part of the kid, but that's about it. Psychological thriller.
What do you got, Drew? What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is a solid movie. I was kind of teetering at my star rating, but I think I'm going to go with 3 here.
Let's go.
Because I think as we've discussed it, I've kind of changed my mind a little bit.
Okay.
Because I think I was
Some
at 2.5
live
like
change.
you, Matt. But this is not a movie about a monster. This movie is grounded in character, grounded in emotional relationships that these characters share. I think my only critique was that I can agree with some of the people because I think the pacing in this movie was a little slow, maybe a little boring at times, but I think it was necessary for the story that was trying to be told. And just concerning what this movie is, I enjoy monster movies, I enjoy psychological movies, and I think when they're combined, I think it's a fantastic mashup. And another reason why I like this movie, as far as from a creative standpoint, is that I'm trying to outline a story that deals with some similar things that exist in the Babadook relationship-wise. So this is something I'll definitely be coming back to reference as a learning tool. Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's good for sure. I like that.
Yeah.
Something interesting I want to say too is just the fact that this was written and directed by a woman. You just don't see
Yeah.
that in Hollywood. Like there totally is a gap that's pretty evident with that. And it's interesting
Sadly,
that she's
yes.
only made this is her only feature film besides one other thing. It's like why, especially when this was so like
The
successful.
in-depth, yeah, for sure.
It's kind of odd, honestly.
Yeah, and when you said that other movie that she made was like a
A thriller.
like a drama thriller or whatever.
Yeah. From like 1825, it says. That's where it takes place.
I saw this and I was like, okay, this is cool. You know, female horror writer. Let's see some more horror from her. I want to see some more horror from.
Yeah, that's
this
true.
woman.
For sure.
That'd be interesting.
So
Yeah.
hopefully she's got some more in the works.
I mean, as for the Babadook 2, I did read, this just remembered, there were sold actual copies of the picture book / children's book.
oh, of the book?
Yeah, would you buy it and like
Oh.
shelf it as like a collectible?
Yeah, but out of the reach of my children, if I have children.
Well, I wonder if like those pages are in there when he's like strangling the child. Like, I don't know.
Oh man.
I don't know. Probably you could check it out. Hey man, I hope they don't make a second one. They better not, because it'll probably
No,
be
it won't.
It'll probably take a Babadookie.
Well, yeah, I know, right?
Waiting
It
for
would
that.
not
I
be
was
good.
waiting for it. Thank
But
you for
I just
that.
looked. Jennifer Kent, the creator of the Babadook, she has no upcoming projects.
Okay,
Interesting.
All right. Well,
Weird.
I mean, maybe she's cooking something up. We'll see.
Maybe she's cooking something up on the Bobby because she's Australian.
Oh
God!
All right, Lloyd
What
Christmas.
an awesome joke to end the show.
I'm definitely interested to see what else Jennifer Kent has. So let's see what the future holds.
Yeah,
for her.
but hopefully maybe we can do another episode on something she makes in the future. We'll
Yeah,
see.
absolutely.
We will see.
Until next time.
That's
Cool.
the Babadook, though. Knock 3 times.
The Babadook's knocked 3 times. Here we go.
Don't let it in.
No matter what platform you're using to listen to us, I want it to be known that we're available on iTunes, YouTube, and Spreaker. You can also find us on Instagram at screenplay_junkie. If you like our content, please be sure to follow our channels so you can stay in the loop with new episodes and quick movie reviews. Feel free to give us a rating or drop us a comment on any of these mediums. Any feedback or interaction is greatly appreciated. Got any scripts you think we should read or movies we should review? Shoot us a message on our Instagram or email us at screenplayjunkie.show@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. On the next episode, we will be comparing the 1973 Stephen King short story Trucks to its 1986 film adaptation Maximum Overdrive that was actually directed and written by Stephen King that stars Emilio Estevez. Thank you for listening. We hope you can join us next time.